Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I am getting geared up to go to Lake Champlain in upstate New York for my 6th Pro Circuit event, and I'm pretty jacked up to get there because it means I'm going to be chasing smallmouth, and I honestly don't get to fish that many smallmouth tournaments anymore, and I love to catch big brown fish. They are the hardest fighting bass out there in my opinion. And when you get on a good smallmouth bite, it almost feels like it's endless. Like those fish are coming out of nowhere. You can keep the boat in relatively the same spot and they just keep coming to you. So I'm really excited to get down there. And a lot of you guys know that I love smallmouth. And because of that, I get questions all of the time from viewers asking me about what my favorite smallmouth baits are. And in certain situations, how would I go about it? Well, I'm here to tell you guys it's pretty simple. In fact, I've got 5 baits here that are pretty much the only baits that you need for smallmouth, and it does not matter where you live. You could be down south, you could be up north, and it really doesn't even matter what time of the year because these work year round. Now, I'm not saying these are the only 5 baits that you need. I'm saying these are the 5 baits that would cover you from bottom to top. And honestly, if you only had to pick 5 baits, or I could only pick 5 baits, these would be them. This is what I would carry. Smallmouth fishing to me is a lot more simple than largemouth fishing in terms of the amount of gear you need. I could get away with one box for smallmouth versus largemouth, where I feel like I've got so many different tactics and techniques where I'd want tackle for. So keep it simple with smallmouth. And these are the 5 that I'm gonna get into. Before I do though, I do want to remind you guys that if you want a little bit of help on smallmouth fishing in your area, check out the lake breakdowns that I've done for fishthemoment.com. The link is in the description. You get 40 waypoints that I have specifically marked on smallmouth fisheries. At the same time, if you want some northern lake help for largemouth as well, check that out too. You can get it all there. It's a great way to help you break down the lake. It would be just like hiring me as a guide. Honestly, you probably get more information out of the lake breakdown than hiring me for a day of guide service. So check that out. Also, if you're looking to support the channel and need to buy some tackle, please use my Tackle Warehouse affiliate link that I've got in the description of the video. It's a great way to support the channel, and it's just another way to show that you enjoy the videos that I'm putting forward. All right, so let's get into these. Guys, smallmouth fishing really is pretty simple in terms of where they're going to be located. You want to identify any sort of current. You want to identify any form of rock transition or steep break. Those 3 things are the most important. Bait is also important as well, but generally speaking, the rock transitions or current are going to be the things that set up the smallmouth more than anything. So having said that, there's a few key baits. First and foremost, guys, a small swim bait is going to be absolutely killer. Specifically, this is the 3.3 inch size of the Pro Blue color. This is the Kitech swim bait. There's a lot of different swim baits out there, but I would say across the board, most professionals would say that the Swing Impact Fat is the size to go with for smallmouth, the 3.3 inch size. I recommend throwing it with a Matt Steffen Dirty Jigs guppy head. To me, the 3/16 ounce size, the 3/0 hook is the right pairing for the 3.3. And the 3/16 ounce size is the size that will get you down deep enough, generally speaking, if it's not overly windy, but it's still light enough where you can keep it up a little bit off the bottom, because smallmouth like to feed up. They would rather come up than go down to eat a bait, specifically a swim bait. I think with swim baits, a lot of times largemouth prefer to have it at like eye level. Smallmouth like to have it above their heads. So I don't generally like to have a real heavy swim bait head. I like to choose one on the lighter side to keep it up in the water column. But a swim bait year round is a smallmouth killer. They have a hard time letting a small swim bait get by. Next up, guys, you want a drop shot. I think right now the most proven drop shot bait on the market is the Berkeley Max Scent Flatworm. In fact, you can see it with all the baits coming out at ICAST this year. It seems like there's probably 20 different other baits that have that similar flatworm shape, which shows that it's a proven shape and people are trying to mimic it. But the Max Scent formula is key for smallmouth anywhere you go. But I mean, the max scent flatworm has been absolutely dynamite over the last probably 3 years, to the point where it's really difficult to get. This is honestly the time to get it because smallmouth season is just starting to get into full swing. And as soon as guys go through the stock that they have, everyone orders it. Usually this happens right around now, July, August, and then it's gone for the year. It's really difficult to get. So if you can order it now, I would recommend ordering it if you're looking to use a drop shot. Generally speaking, I like to go with a quarter ounce weight for a drop shot, depending on the conditions, but that's usually the best weight for me if I can get away with it and I have like no wind or no heavy current. It just seems like that works. And then I usually go with a little bit longer leader, like that 16-inch range, so it's keeping the bait off the bottom again. But you really cannot ignore a max scent flatworm on a drop shot. It's a killer technique, and it's probably one of the best smallmouth fish catching baits out there right now. Next up, one of my favorites as well is to go with a little Ned Rig. You know, and I think right now the Z-Man Finesse Trd is probably the most widely used. I like to throw it in any form of green pumpkin color. This is the green pumpkin goby, so it's got a little purple, little gold color in it. And then I pair it up with a Berkeley half head jig. That's my favorite for the Ned Rig style. Specifically, I like to go with the 16th ounce if I can get away with it. If I got to drop down to an 1/8 ounce, I'll do that as well. But again, I like to go lighter versus heavier to start. If I'm not getting bit on light weights, that's when I'll go heavier. And I don't just slightly increment, I'll go the complete opposite up to say a 1/4 ounce to get a real fast fall on the Ned Rig. So if you've got fish that are suspended or a little higher up in the water column, that's when you got to go with a jerk bait. One of my favorite jerk baits for smallmouth is the 110+1 in this color specifically. This is the Elegy Bone color. Just a proven fish catching tool for smallmouth. I have probably won more money on smallmouth on this bait because it's gotten me a couple of big wins out on Sturgeon Bay that paid really well back, you know, before I was even fishing professionally. But this bait has got a special place in my heart. But that's probably become one of the most popular colors for most species of bass. But if you're fishing smallmouth, you definitely want to choose something, in my opinion, that's got that chartreuse belly on it or a little bit of orange, something that's going to create that reaction mechanism in the fish to go off. But it's really hard to beat a jerkbait, and a jerkbait's just not a cold water bait for all species of bass, but specifically for smallmouth. Throw a jerkbait year round. It's a great way to get those lethargic fish to react to your bait. One of my favorite baits all around for smallmouth. And last but not least, and sticking similar with that color again, is the Berkeley Jaywalker. This is a great color. It's the CJ Shad color. It's a translucent bait with the chartreuse top on it. So it's one of those baits, has a great sound. The Jaywalker, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated walking topwater baits. You don't hear much about it, but the sound on it is more of that low volume thud versus multiple BBs. And to me, that's a really good thing for smallmouth. Smallmouth like that thud versus like really, really loud baits. And that's just what I have found over time. But this color specifically is one of my all-time favorite colors for smallmouth. It just seems like you get that little bit of chartreuse every time the bait rolls when you're walking it, and that triggers the fish, but it calls them up from deep water. So if you're in a clear water situation where a topwater bite's going, which is generally speaking going to be any time during the summer months or fall months where you've got stable conditions, that bait will call them up from as deep as 20 feet of water. Absolutely key for smallmouth. So I'm telling you guys, these 5 baits will get it done. Technique wise, they work great. You can vary the bait some, but I know for a fact these baits work. Like, these are the ones that I will have rigged up and ready to go at Champlain. If you got any questions, throw them up in the comment section so I can answer them for you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And guys, if you're watching and you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. It's a great way to get notified that I've got more videos coming out, which I do daily. So thanks for watching, guys.